Okay, page 3 measurements. Your A piece is 6.5 by 10 7/8. You're going to need 7 B pieces. I know that's quite a bit. We're going to do a waterfall with them. So 7 B pieces. And they measure 4.25 by 6 3/4. C is 6 inches across by 9 7/8. D is 5.25 by 9. And 2 E pieces that measure 5 by 5.5 inches. Okay, so those are all your pieces. Now get your scoreboard out and we'll start scoring everything. Okay, so A, we're going to score at half on the 6.5 inch side. So 6.5 is at the top of your scoreboard. Score it at half an inch. Then we are going to turn it a quarter turn, or 90 degrees, whichever way you want to think about it, and score again at half and 10 3/8. So this is going to be a large bucket. All 7 of your B pieces are going to be scored at half on the 6 3/4 inch side. So all of them. Okay, and now your C piece will be scored at half and at 5/8 on the 6 inch side. So creating that little gusset again. Your D piece will be scored at half an inch on the 9 inch side. And your E pieces will be scored at half on the 5.5 inch side. So half on the 5.5 inch side. I'm not doing very good with my scoring. There we go. I have a couple that had a little bubble there. There we go. Perfect. All right. Fantastic. Okay, you know the next step. We are now going to add our score tape to all of the half-inch sections. Okay, I'm just going to speed through this because you know what you're doing right now. Just adding the score tape to the half-inch section, leaving that little gap, not going into the second score line if there is a 2 forming a gusset. You got this. Okay, speed up, commencing now. Okay, now we are going to miter all of the corners. Remember how we do it on the pockets, cutting in at an angle where they intersect and then out at an angle, in, out. So miter all of your corners and then fold and crease on all of your score lines, and I'll be right back. Okay, now let's put everything together. So you get your second base page. Your Tyvek little strippy things are to the left-hand side. And we are going to adhere your A-piece. Adhere your A-piece to the left-hand side of the base page. So remove the two adhesive backings from the sides first, then the bottom. Okay, like that. And the opening is right here. So the opening, look how inked up my hands are. I'm a mess. Oh, pull yourself together. Okay, so this is going on the left-hand side of the base page. Oh, not crooked. Okay. So there's your A-piece. There's your pocket. Now, each of your B pieces, like I said, we're going to make a waterfall. So we are going to waterfall them down to the right hand side of your A piece. Okay, so right at the edge of the A piece. Okay, so the top one, even with the top of A and the right edge of A. Okay. Right there. The second one will be going, butting right up against the 1/2 inch section of the first. Okay, so there's the 1/2 inch section of the first A piece, and this one is, the second one is butted right up against that, still even with the right edge of A here. Okay, so we're going to do that with 6 of them. So do this 6 times. Okay, so once you've got 6, all water falling down like that, so 6 of them, your last one is going to go the opposite direction. It's going to go from the bottom and go over top of all of those to kind of close them. Okay, so line it up even with the edge. Okay, so just like that. So we're going to put a magnet on there, or you could do a swing tab too, and that'll close all of those. Now piece C is going to go just inside of the base page. So you've got your base page opening here. Okay, so it is going to go just inside right here, it's going to adhere to the back part of the inside of the pocket. So kind of get it in there. Should fit perfectly. Okay, so then when it's closed, it'll meet the edge of your waterfall. Okay? Now we're going to adhere D onto the top of your C piece. Okay, just like that. And then your two E pieces, open up D, and your two E pieces are going to go on the left and right onto your C piece. Okay, right in the center. So one's going to go there, and the other one is going to go there. Okay, so I'm going to eyeball it. You can measure. Feel free to measure top to bottom. Okay, so there are your E pieces. Alright, so now we're going to add some magnets. And now again, you can choose which way you want to do this, which E goes over the other one. Totally up to you. So a little piece of score tape. I feel like I tend to go left over right most times. I'm not sure why that is, but I feel like that seems to be what I do most. Oops. Okay, so there's that one. I think I'm going to do a swing tab, a magnetic swing tab, from the C piece to the D piece. You can do a magnet here, but I'm going to do a magnetized swing tab, so I'm going to wait until I decorate for that part. Okay, so now open this up, and I'm going to put a magnet closing the bottom B piece to the top. Okay, so that's that. Alright, so I think I'm going to do some swing tabs here as well, or something to that effect. Or maybe a couple of like latches. I haven't quite decided yet, but I'm going to figure something out for a closure for this. Otherwise, you can do a couple magnets from here from your C piece onto your B pieces. I might do that anyway. I didn't actually do that in the PDF part of the tutorial, but I think I might just add a couple just for extra. and then I'll do a like some kind of latch closure later on. So these are optional. I mean, all the magnets are optional, really. You can close you don't have to use any magnets if you don't want to. You can close everything with swing tabs or Velcro or ribbon ties, or there's so many options for closures. I really dig the magnets. I'm a big fan. I like it's just so satisfying. Like that little snap. Oh, just love it. Anyway, okay, so doesn't take much to make me happy. Alright, I'm gonna get my pieces of pattern paper ready and inked up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided that there's quite a few things that I want to do with this page, so I thought I'd do everything with you to show you all the different things that I want to do. Okay, so starting off, I want it to match the previous page, right? So that was this one. So I'm going to use the same color scheme. So first I'm going to put the balloons on, and then we will go from there. Okay, so balloons down. Fabulous. Alright, now I want to have a magnetized swing tab down here, so I'm going to use this chipboard piece from the collection. But I want it to be magnetized, so okay, first I'm going to ink it a little bit. Okay, and now I want it to be magnetized, but I don't want you to be able to see the magnet on it when you lift this up, right? And I don't want this to be shown either. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a single magnet on the back, on the bottom. So normally we would put two magnets together. I'm just going to put one magnet. Okay, so one, and then I am going to cover this with some pattern paper. So I'm just going to go through my scraps and find some corresponding paper that will match it. Is that big enough? Not quite. I'll just take a piece of this blue then. Yeah, we'll use the blue. Or should we use yellow? Maybe we'll use yellow. Gold, I mean. Okay, so I'm going to use a piece of this gold colored paper on the back. Polka dots or non-polka dots? So many decisions. Okay, well, let's cut around this first, and then we will decide if we want which one we want, which side. Okay, so now we will decide which side we like better. Going to be like that. Okay, I think I'm going to have the polka dots just for a little, yeah, just stop changing your mind, Katia, just go with the polka dots. Okay, so I'm going with the polka dots. Just going to ink this up a little bit and then adhere it to the back to hide the magnet and the back of the chipboard. Okay. There we go. Punch that hole again. Perfect. All right, so now decide where it is that you want your, if you're doing a swing tab, decide where it is that you want your swing tab to be. And then take a pen and make a little mark. Is that centered? Yeah, it looks pretty centered to me. So make a little mark. Okay, now punch a hole. Use my Crop-A-Dile here and punch a hole where you've made that mark. And then attach it with a brad. Okay, so I've got this pretty heart brad here. So I'm going to use that. So punch it through the hole and open the tines on the other side. Okay. Now we need to do the corresponding magnet. So let one magnet just adhere to the one that's already underneath your pattern paper. And put a little bit of score tape on top of it. Okay, and then close this down, and there you go. Now it will magnetize where it's supposed to. Okay, so while we have this open, let's just adhere a couple of these pieces. There's my other one. There it is. So I'm just going to use the same matching paper from the previous page. This one, and then I've just got the white or cream colored inside there. Okay, and then we can also put this blue piece of paper down, but not the top one yet, and I'll show you why. Okay, so put this one down. Okay, so I've decided that I'm going to do ribbon closures here and here. So I'm going to punch 2 holes in the side here and then put eyelets there. So right about there. And then I want to make a hole that is equal distance from the edge and equal distance from the bottom. So this is 1.5 inches, so I want to go 1.5 inches from the top and in to the same. So I'm going to make a mark right about here so that my holes are fairly even, and punch another hole. Okay, and now I'm going to take a couple eyelets and put, oh, of course I didn't punch a big enough hole. I need to use the bigger one. Okay, there we go. Try that again. Okay, now put the eyelets in. So an eyelet there and an eyelet there. And then close them with the Crop-A-Dile. Oh, I don't think I got in there. No, I didn't. Try that again. Okay, perfect. So the eyelets are set there. Okay, and now I'm going to put some ribbon through those two eyelets. Tried to find one that kind of matched. Obviously you want it to match. That was silly. I didn't really need to say that, did I? Of course you want it to match. Now hopefully this isn't too thick a ribbon, but it's pretty sheer, so it should be able to go through. So I'm going to cut a couple lengths. I always trim them afterwards. Okay, so put these through the eyelet holes, and then I don't want to tie a knot because I don't want it to be bulky, so I'm just going to put some score tape over top of the ribbon in a couple spots. You could tie it, but I just want to, I want to try and not have any bulk. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with the other piece. Okay, so a couple pieces of score tape over top of that. Okay, and now we want some corresponding ribbon on this part here. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't want to put the eyelets on the inside of the pocket, because when we put pieces into the pocket I don't want it to catch on the eyelets at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the eyelets just on this actual piece of paper. Okay, so the eyelets and the ribbon will be just attached to the paper, not to the cardstock itself. Alright, which will make it so it's not quite as secure as I might like it to be, but I think it'll be alright. And this is just a tad long. So just so you've noticed, you might probably noticed here that I've cut this piece in an odd shape just to accommodate the waterfall that we had. So I just measured down and across and just cut it accordingly. So I'm just going to make a couple marks where I want the eyelets to go. So I'm going to close this and make a couple marks so they're relatively even. So somewhere around here and somewhere around there. Okay, And I'm going to open this up, get it out of my way. Okay, and then I'm going to punch a couple holes and put the eyelets in here. Okay, so let's put those other two eyelets in. Oh, for some reason that didn't go. Let's try again. There we go. It's better. And the other one. Okay, and then we're going to add our ribbon, and then we can put this piece of paper down. So let's cut 2 more lengths of ribbon. Okay, and then add the score tape on the back. One more. Okay, and then do the same with the bottom one. There it is. Now you don't, this is all optional. You don't have to do any of this if you don't want to. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. You can just have, you know, a magnet closure or swing tabs or, you know, whatever it is that you so desire. You can even add another piece over here that closes over with magnets. So many options. Okay, so that's going to sit there. So I'm going to take the score tape off of the backs of these, and then add the rest of my adhesive and put this piece of paper down. Okay, and then I'm going to run adhesive all over. I'm going to make sure that this piece is really, really stuck down. Okay, hang on just a sec. I just have to change my tape roll. Okay, so I've got my adhesive on this piece. I'm going to put it down. Got a little extra adhesive up here. For some reason this one's sticking up just a little bit. And I've got some extra adhesive on the ribbon. Okay, so now we can add, I've got little pieces of paper to put in between the waterfall. I'm not going to cover these because it's just going to add too much bulk. Maybe I'll use that part. So I'm not going to do that, but I do like the look of having the pieces in between to cover up where they kind of join. Okay, a couple more. And last one. Okay, so I've got those now. And then I've just got the piece to go into the pocket here. So it's just like a shorter strip. As long as you've got about an inch or so inside the pocket, that should be good. Maybe I'll do the polka dots on this too. Yeah, let's do the polka dots on this too. So I'm just going to ink the polka dot side a little bit. Okay, we'll put that in. Hi, buddy. Okay, so let's put that in the pocket. Just make sure to not let it adhere until you have it where you want it to go. Okay, right about there. Alright, and now we can add our piece down here. And then the two on the front of the waterfall. Okay. There we go. So that's that part. Now we can put this side on. We're getting there. Okay, now close this up. And we just have this piece up here now. So I wanted to do one last thing. I really liked this. I stamped this stop pocket watch image, which I just loved. But I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have actual hands on there? So I had these little clock hands, so I thought I would put a couple on. So I'm just going to punch a hole right in the center. Now, I mean, obviously, you might not have a stopwatch, what do you call it, stamp. But I mean, I just wanted to show you just options of little things that you could do to jazz things up a little bit. So I've got one fancy one and one plain, and then they can just kind of like spin around. Just thought that was a cool little touch. Okay, so now I'm going to take the strip backings off of these and add more score tape, or sorry, add my adhesive to this last piece. And whenever you have a brad, I like to add adhesive right over top of the brad, the tines, the brad tines, so that it doesn't help, so that it won't come out. It'll stay where you've put it. Okay, so let's put this on. Alright, and then that closes up, and then these tie up, and we'll see how much we need to cut off. So I'm pretty sure they're going to be a little bit too long. I cut them quite long. Alright, that looks like about good, so let's cut that there, and cut that there. Okay, I might end up cutting them just a little bit more still. Okay, anyway, you can fiddle with those later. So there you go. There is page 3. Alright, so now I will get my pieces ready for page 4. We are cruising, people. Yes, doing it. Good job.